Thank you so much for being here today. Good afternoon. I'm your Osceola County Commissioner Vice Chair, Peggy Chaudhry. First, I want to go ahead and introduce many different departments here today. I'm joined by representatives from Osceola County Emergency Management, the City of Kissimmee, of course, the City of St. Cloud, the Osceola School District, the Sheriff's Office, KUA, Duke Energy, OUC, and the Toho Water Authority. Of course, everything always takes a village when it comes to this, so I'm very excited that they're all here. Thank you so much for joining us. I also want to thank our first responders, county staff members and volunteers who have been working around the clock this week in our Emergency Operations Center, sandbag locations, shelters, and in our community to prepare for Osceola County for the storm, and now to respond to the people's needs in the aftermath of this storm. I also want to acknowledge the members of our community who heeded the warnings from this emergency management team and from the officials and sought the shelter it needed, and prepared, of course, their homes, their businesses, and property for the storm. Thank you for obeying the curfews, and now you're here now ready for the recovery. Communities cannot make this natural disaster and build a team like this just alone. We all always have to work together and make sure that it takes the whole village. So this is why it's very important for me to actually recognize and say thank you to all of you. Thank you to the volunteers in the communities, including folks that help neighbors helping neighbors, because that is what I seen when I was out there in these past couple of days. Our staff in Osceola County and all the members that I've mentioned in the organizations worked extremely hard together, including our nonprofits, to prep for the storm. And that is what it took for us to get through this. I want to remind members of the community that if they have specific questions related to Hurricane Milton, our Citizens Information Center line is still operating and can be reached, and the number is 407-742-0000. Now I'm going to say it in Spanish, just a little bit of what I just said. Quiero agradecerles primeramente que todos están aquí hoy. Es muy importante reconocer cómo hemos trabajado juntos para poder, obviamente, estar bien preparados para esta tormenta y para el huracán. Yo soy la comisionada Peggy Chaudhry desde el Distrito 1 y quiero que sepan que los departamentos que están con nosotros hoy, toditos hemos trabajado juntos. Las dos ciudades, la ciudad de Kissimmee, la ciudad de St. Cloud, obviamente los otros departamentos con el Sheriff's Office y KUA, Duke Energy, y todas las organizaciones que hemos trabajado juntos para poder hacer y preparar a las personas. Cuando uno se prepara mucho, no importa, ¿no? Porque decimos vamos a trabajar juntos y estar seguros que vamos a poder recuperar de la tormenta. Algunas personas van a estar preguntando, no fue tan grave. Está bien, eso es lo que queríamos, pero estábamos preparados para poder hacer lo que se necesitaba hacer. Quiero agradecerles a los residentes que también eran voluntarios y que han ayudado a las personas que lo necesitaban más. Quiero agradecerles. Todavía tenemos la línea abierta para cualquier pregunta del huracán. Pueden llamar hoy día si quieren preguntar qué es lo que, cualquier pregunta, recogiendo basura, cualquier cosa de así, pueden llamar a esta línea al 407-742-0000. Ahora voy a introducir a Bill Linton, que es el director de esta organización. I would like to introduce now Bill Linton from our Emergency Management Department. In English and in Spanish.
Okay. Well, good afternoon. As Vice Chair said, I'm Osceola County Emergency Management Director Bill Litton. Overall, Osceola County fared very well during the storm. Milton's late shifts of rain bands along I-4's northern corridor alleviated the flooding concerns, and lake levels remain below critical levels here in the county. Our crews continue to assess damage and remove debris, but our road and bridge teams have cleared major arteries and returned to normal operations. Except for our special needs medical needs shelter, which still has a few people there, everyone in our public shelters have returned home, and our shelters have now closed. I want to also announce that all county offices will reopen on Friday. Curbside trash collection in unincorporated Osceola County will resume tomorrow, Friday, October 11th. Customers who regularly have pickup on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday must have their trash cart and yard waste limits to 10 bags, bundles, or containers curbside by 6:30 a.m. These customers will have their trash and yard waste pickup on Friday and Saturday. This is for household waste and yard waste only, not recycling or bulk waste. This will also not include collection of hurricane debris. For hurricane debris, the county is opening a free yard waste drop-off site at Canoe Creek Road across from Bramble Road Drive and Canoga Village. It will be open in Osceola County residents daily from October 12th to October 20th from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. The county will also deploy a contractor to collect hurricane-related debris from the curb. Residents should separate construction debris from vegetation and place between sidewalks and the street. Mixed debris will not be collected. Private gated subdivisions within the unincorporated county should reach out to Osceola County Solid Waste for a right of entry form. Regular curbside collection schedules of normal garbage, recycle, yard waste, and bulk will resume next week. The county has issued an executive order to address nonconformities in building permits for hurricane-related repairs. Any home or business that was considered lawful on Wednesday, October 9th, 2024, before the arrival of the storm, will be allowed to rebuild. Property owners will be allowed to start repairing hurricane damage immediately as long as they get a building permit no later than October 17th or when the county's emergency declaration expires, whichever is later. All building permits associated with damages to Hurricane Milton will be waived until further notice. Finally, Governor DeSantis has activated the Florida Small Business Emergency Bridge Loan Program. Osceola County small businesses owners can go to floridajobs.org/EBL for loans up to $50,000 through this program. Loans up to $100,000 are available for agriculture, aquaculture, small businesses, and loans up to $150,000 are available for citrus and cattle operations. These loans are intended to bridge the gap between the time a disaster impacts a business and when a business has secured long-term recovery funding. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Mayor Gonzalez with the City of Kissimmee.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here today. Our thoughts are with everyone affected by Hurricane Milton and those impacted by the flooding and damages to homes and structures. Overall, I'm relieved to report that the damage in the city of Kissimmee appears to be minimal. However, this does not diminish the challenges many are facing. Let's continue to support one another as we work toward recovery. I want to take a moment to express my deep gratitude to our first responders and all personnel who have been working tirelessly before, during, and after the storm to assess the situation. We understand that this has been a challenging time for our community. If you need assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out through the appropriate channels. We are here to help. Finally, our offices and parks will be open to the public tomorrow, and all trash, recycling, and yard waste services will proceed as scheduled. Information on debris collection will be announced very soon, as we're still working on preliminary damage assessment. Thank you, and let's continue to come together as a community. I just want to add a little bit to this, and I'm amazed at how advanced we are, how we learn to work together. This is a united community, and I'm proud to say that I'm part of it, and I thank all of you, first responders, the staff, and everybody that made this possible. I say kudos to you. It looked like a monster, but came in to be a little lamb. And we thank God for that. Thank you very much, and God bless you. And I will introduce Mayor Blackwell.
I am Mayor Blackwell with the City of St. Cloud. On behalf of the City Council and our city staff, we certainly want to express our relief that the storm was not as bad in our area as it certainly could have been. Our hearts certainly go out to those in other parts of the state who were not as fortunate, who suffered severe damage and maybe even the loss of life due to tornadoes, as well as those who have been facing extreme flooding. You are certainly in our prayers. Our city was spared severe damage, as you've already heard. Roads are open. Crews are working today to clear a handful of downed trees and large branches. OUC, our utility provider, is out working diligently. They've already restored power to thousands of homes. You'll be hearing more from them in just a moment, but we're grateful for their hard work. We realize that some of our residents have suffered damage to their property, including roof and fence damage or trees down. Well, the city is working to help make recovery easier for all of our residents. We are waiving the permit fees for roof and fence replacements that are related to the damage caused by Hurricane Milton. Please don't delay, get your work done, but as quickly as possible, go online and apply for permits, and our staff will process them quickly. We also are waiving fees for bulk collection of yard debris related to Hurricane Milton. We ask residents to gather downed yard debris at your curb this weekend for collection on its normal schedule next week. We ask that you place smaller limbs and branches in your garden bin and cut larger limbs to a size of no more than 4 feet and stack them at the curb next to your green bin. Our Citizens Information and Helpline will remain open today until 8 p.m., and it will be open again tomorrow from 8 till 5 p.m. This is the number that you can call, 407-957-7161, or you can visit our website at www.stcloudfl.gov. We also encourage you to be a good Samaritan and to do what we've seen so many already doing, checking on your neighbors, and let's pull together and work and help each other make it through this cleanup. At this time, we'll ask the superintendent of Osceola Schools, Dr. Mark Shenoff, if he'll come and share.
Thank you, Mayor, and good afternoon, everyone. Schools are closed tomorrow. District offices are closed tomorrow, Friday. That has not changed. We are still assessing schools and work sites for damage. Currently, our maintenance teams are out surveying all campuses and district sites, looking specifically at damage on the exterior. We are about 90% complete. At this point, there's no major damage that will impact schools opening again next week. We have a previously scheduled professional development day for teachers on Monday. So students will not have school on Monday anyway because of a previously scheduled professional development day. But we see nothing that will impact the school district's ability to hold that professional development day on Monday. We have 5 school sites still without power: Liberty High School, Hickory Tree Elementary, Narcoossee Middle School, Horizon Middle School, Deerwood Elementary School. All shelters, as Mr. Litton alluded to, all shelters are closed. We had buses assisting with reverse shelter operations, getting individuals back to their original pickup locations out of the shelters. So I want to thank our transportation team for their assistance with that. I want to thank all of our emergency partners for their teamwork, and our SDOC team members from student nutrition, from maintenance, and our school leadership for the shelter sites, for their dedication for all of shelter operations. I had the opportunity to visit all of our shelters, and I was so heartened to see the amount of teamwork that was taking place, and also some real genuine, heartfelt interaction between those that were seeking shelter and our school staff. So I'd like to thank our heroes for that. One last thing that I want to announce to our students, our parents, and our teachers is that we will be making an adjustment to the last day of the first marking period. I've received a lot of communication about whether or not there were going to be changes with the end of the first marking period, which was supposed to be tomorrow. We will be adjusting the end of the first marking period, and we'll share more information next week after we have some discussions internally about that. It's now my pleasure to introduce Chief Deputy Dan Weiss from the Osceola County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you, Dr. Shanoff. Good afternoon, and thank everybody for being here. You know, as a result of our community coming together, this is a very positive press conference in lieu of the press conferences we've had the last couple of days where there was a lot of uncertainty. Our office has had a comprehensive response to Milton since the planning stages days ago. We have worked with our county emergency management team, the cities, and community partners in the preparation for Milton. We have been involved in meetings, resource allocation, and provided over 55 personnel in the sandbag distribution sites at Heritage Park and Celebration. For the storm activation, we activated over 492 personnel during a 24-hour period to respond to the storm. We also had over 50 apparatuses to include high water rescue vehicles, airboats, kicker boats, a Bearcat, chainsaws, drones, and that's just to name a few, that were strategically placed around the county to respond to our community when they needed it. Overnight, our agency received 540 calls into the communication center, and we responded to over 250 incidents. Most importantly, and I stress most importantly, we had no storm deaths reported to us, which is a big win for us and the community. We provided safety and security for over 1,100 citizens across 5 different shelters in the county. We are also happy to report that we had no storm-related arrests and no curfew violations. We would like to thank the community for listening and taking the storm seriously. That was evident by the number of evacuations, shelter activity, and following our protocols during the storm. Our agency is now in the damage assessment phase and assisting with downed power lines, traffic outages, and several other things that the community needs. The Sheriff's Office will be open tomorrow and fully operational in our administrative offices as well as on the streets, as we always are. We are incredibly grateful for the amazing dedicated team that we have at the Sheriff's Office, our community partners, and the community at large for coming out together during this storm. Everyone stay safe and know that your Sheriff's Office is here for you. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Tiffany Henderson from KUA. Sorry.
Thank you, Chief Deputy. KUA has approximately 93,000 customers. At the peak of the storm, KUA had 15,739 customers without power at around 4 o'clock this morning. And I'm happy to report roughly 92% of those customers are now restored, and we expect to have all customers who can safely receive power restored by the end of the day today. KUA is following its 7-step power restoration process, and we are now on step 6, repairing neighborhood tap lines. After that, we'll move on to individual customer outages. We encourage customers to follow the generator 20-20-20 rule, keeping generators at least 20 feet away from your home, waiting 20 minutes for the generator to cool down before refueling, and buying carbon monoxide detectors for around $20 to install in your home. Most importantly, never try to power your home wiring by plugging the generator into a wall outlet, a practice known as backfeeding. This is extremely dangerous and presents an electrocution risk for our utility workers and neighbors served by the same transformer. It's still important for residents to be alert for power lines that may be hard to see in streams or puddles. If you see down power lines, always treat them as if they are energized and dangerous. Stay away from down power lines, and they can hurt or kill you even if they don't spark, hum, or dance. You can report a downed power line by calling KUA at 407-933-9800. Lastly, KUA's Customer Service Center will reopen tomorrow, Friday, October 11th, for normal business hours from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. As always, we're very thankful for our customers and their patience during this storm. And I'll now turn it over to Audrey Stasko with Duke Energy.
Good afternoon. Duke Energy remains committed to restoring your power following this catastrophic storm, Milton, as quickly and safely as possible. So Milton's strong winds, heavy rainfall caused significant damage to our system, including multiple wires down, uprooted trees, substations being out, and certainly damage to many homes and businesses in the area. So as of 2 p.m., we had around 16,000 Osceola customers, Duke Energy Florida Osceola customers without power. We continue to restore power where it's safe to do so, focusing on our critical services, including treatment facilities and pumping stations. Additionally, we have teams that are out there doing damage assessment. This is a critical component to our restoration process because it helps us get eyes on the damage, the source of the outage, as well as deploy resources and equipment to where it's needed most and in areas where it's accessible. So we thank our customers for their patience. We do anticipate a lengthy restoration process just based on the amount of customers we serve throughout the state, more than 2 million customers. And we anticipated about 1 million of those customers being without power, and we were pretty spot on with that projection. Aside from your patience, we ask our customers to stay away from down power lines. As you heard, very dangerous. Know the way to report your outage by calling 800-228-8485, and also make sure your contact information is up to date in our system. That's the way we're going to keep you up to date with our progress, including restoration times. So again, want to thank our customers for their patience, and also thank everybody behind me for their coordination in this response. With that, I'll turn it over to Janice Osani with OUC.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I hope this press conference finds you and your families safe and well. Hurricane Milton's impact resulted in about 26,000 St. Cloud OUC customers losing power. That represents about 46% of the customer base there, and that was in the early hours this morning. Since that time, we've been able to restore power to about 9,000 of those customers as of 2:15 this afternoon. As soon as it was safe to do so this morning, we deployed safety assessors and power restoration crews to begin assessing the damage and to work on an estimated time of restoration for our system. We believe we'll have that within the next 48 hours. Our power restoration crews first focused on hospitals and critical care facilities, fire stations, and police stations. They then are focused on feeders and lines that will restore power to the greatest amount of customers in the most efficient manner possible, and will work outages that impact only a few customers at a time last. We are so very grateful for the thousands of resources who are responding to the dire situation following both Hurricane Helene and Milton. And we're very grateful for the crews that are joining OUC from as far away as Michigan, California, and Nebraska, just to name a few, here in Central Florida. Customers can report outages by texting out to 69682 or by calling 407-423-9018 or by emailing us at customerservice@ouc.com. As a reminder, you only need to report your outage one time. Our customer service remains limited and focused solely on outage support at this time. We will not disconnect for non-payment. at this time either. Please remember to keep safety top of mind, as you heard from KUA and Duke. I can't reiterate those points enough. Consider all downlines energized and dangerous, and remember that flooding creates a unique situation where water can be energized. Additional safety tips are available at ouc.com/storm center. Please continue to visit ouc.com for updates on our power restoration efforts, and we appreciate your patience as our community recovers. And I also want to thank everybody for the coordination of having OUC here today.
Oh.
And I apologize, I'm introducing Hillary Weber of Toho Water Authority.
Good afternoon. I'm Hillary Weber, the Chief Business and Environmental Services Officer at Toho Water Authority. I'm here to provide an update on Toho's ongoing response to the impacts of Hurricane Milton on our water and wastewater services. Our top priority is the safety of our employees, our customers, and our community as we return to normal operations. Please avoid contact with standing water as it can present a safety and a health risk. We also want to express our sincere thanks to our customers for their patience and cooperation during this challenging time. For our current status, Toho crews are actively assessing and responding to areas impacted by Hurricane Milton. At this time, no precautionary boil water notices or advisories have been issued. For any customers who experience water or sewer-related issues, we encourage them to report them by calling our customer service line at 407-944-5000. You can also email us at customerservice@tohowater.com. We're also asking for your help to reduce flooding and infrastructure impacts. To minimize the impact on our wastewater collection systems, which are experiencing strain due to heavy rainfall and flooding, we are asking our customers to please limit your water usage as much as possible. You can do this by limiting water use to only essential needs. And please avoid using dishwashers and washing laundry during this time. If you experience any sewer backups, please report them immediately by contacting our customer service team at 407-944-5000. For additional customer information and updates, we encourage customers to visit the News and Alerts section on our website at tohowater.com for the latest updates on service impacts and advisories. You can also stay informed by following us on social media channels and keeping tuned in to your local media outlets for the latest information regarding Toho services. And next, we'll be summarizing in Spanish.
Good afternoon, Nirva Rodríguez, Osceola County Executive Director, Nirva Rodríguez, Directora Ejecutiva de la Oficina del Alguacil del Condado de Osceola. Juntos como uno, hemos superado este mal tiempo. Nuestra agencia tuvo una respuesta inmediata y nos preparamos para el embate del huracán Milton desde el primer día. Hemos trabajado en conjunto con el equipo de manejo de emergencia, oficiales de las ciudades y líderes comunitarios. 55 oficiales y empleados civiles de la Unidad de Servicios a la Comunidad ayudaron en la preparación y distribución de bolsas de arena en el Heritage Park y Celebration. 492 empleados trabajaron durante el huracán las 24 horas del día. Movilizamos más de 25 unidades de respuesta rápida, tales como camiones de rescate para inundaciones, hidrodeslizadores, botes de rescate, entre otros. Gracias a Dios, no tuvimos fatalidades que lamentar. Protegimos aproximadamente 1,100 ciudadanos en 5 refugios. No se realizó ningún arresto y nadie violó el toque de queda, por lo que diría el sheriff Marcos López, hasta los charlatanes respetaron. Gracias a todos por seguir las recomendaciones de emergencia y respetar la ley. Estamos ahora en la etapa de evaluar los daños y cooperando con autoridades que están preparando semáforos y líneas caídas. Mañana estaremos funcionando en horario regular. Y quiero finalizar darle las gracias a todos los miembros de la prensa. Ustedes no han descansado, han pasado largas horas para mantenernos a todos informados. Mi respeto para ustedes. Gracias y bendiciones a todos. Y ahora los dejo con Alibet Suárez, directora de comunicaciones de la ciudad de Kissimmee.
Gracias, Nirva. Thank you to all Osceola County leadership. Ahora voy a resaltar algunos de los puntos más importantes que queremos que la comunidad sepa y relacionados con el paso del huracán Milton. En general, el condado Osceola se comportó muy bien durante la tormenta y, de hecho, el cambio tardío de Milton en las bandas de lluvia a lo largo del corredor de la I-4 alivió las preocupaciones de inundación y los niveles del lago se mantienen por debajo de los niveles críticos. Tenemos un informe de algunas inundaciones en un vecindario de Cypress Parkway y en el área de Poinciana, y daños menores reportados en una zona residencial de Narcoossee Road. Nuestros equipos siguen evaluando los daños y retirando escombros, pero nuestros equipos en las carreteras y puentes han despejado las principales vías que han vuelto a la normalidad. A excepción de nuestro refugio de necesidades médicas especiales, que todavía tiene algunas personas que permanecen allí, el resto de las personas ya se ha retirado de los refugios y los refugios se han cerrado. También queremos anunciar que todas las oficinas del condado Osceola volverán a abrir el día de mañana viernes. La recolección de basura en las zonas no incorporadas del condado de Osceola se reanudará mañana viernes 11 de octubre de la misma manera, y los clientes que regularmente tienen la recolección el día miércoles, jueves y viernes deben tener sus contenedores de basura y residuos de jardinería en la acera antes de las 6:30 de la mañana. A todos estos clientes se les recogerá la basura y los residuos de jardinería el viernes y el sábado. Esto es para que los residuos domésticos y residuos de jardinería, no se trata de reciclaje. Esto tampoco incluirá la recogida de escombros de los huracanes. Para los escombros del huracán, el condado está abriendo un lugar en particular de entrega gratuita de desechos, es el jardín en Canoe Creek Road. El condado también enviará a un contratista para recoger los escombros relacionados con el huracán en la acera. Los residentes deben preparar y separar los escombros de construcción de la vegetación y colocarlos en la acera y en la calle. Los horarios regulares de recogido de basura, reciclaje, residuos de jardinería y en general se reanudará la próxima semana. El condado ha emitido una orden ejecutiva para abordar las no conformidades y los permisos de construcción para las reparaciones relacionadas con el huracán. Cualquier caso o negocio que se considere legal el miércoles 9 de octubre del 2024, antes de la llegada de la tormenta, se le permitirá volver a construir. Las tarifas de permiso de construcción asociadas con los daños del huracán Milton serán canceladas hasta nuevo aviso. Por último, el gobernador Ron DeSantis ha activado el programa de préstamos puente de emergencia para pequeñas empresas de la Florida. Así que los propietarios de pequeñas empresas del condado Osceola pueden visitar floridajobs.org/EBL para solicitar préstamos de hasta $50,000 a través del programa. En la ciudad de Kissimmee, en general, nos alivia informar que el daño en la ciudad de Kissimmee parece ser mínimo. Sin embargo, esto no disminuye los desafíos que muchos están enfrentando. Sigamos apoyándonos unos a otros mientras trabajamos hacia la recuperación. Queremos tomar un momento para expresar nuestra profunda gratitud al personal de primeros auxilios, manejo de emergencia, a todos los trabajadores y el liderazgo en la ciudad de Kissimmee, así como en Osceola, que han trabajado incansablemente antes, durante y después de la tormenta para evaluar esta situación. Entendemos que esto ha sido un momento difícil para nuestra comunidad. Si necesitan ayuda, no duden en comunicarse con nosotros a través de los canales adecuados. Y en particular para la ciudad de Kissimmee pueden visitar kissimmee.gov/Milton. Por último, nuestras oficinas, parques estarán abiertos el día de mañana y todos los servicios de basura y reciclaje y residuos de jardinería seguirán funcionando según lo previsto. La información sobre la recolección de escombros se anunciará muy pronto, ya que todavía estamos trabajando en una evaluación preliminar de los daños. Para la ciudad de St. Cloud, La alcaldía de San Cloud y del personal municipal quieren expresar su alivio por el hecho de que la tormenta no haya sido tan grave en esa zona como podría haber sido. La ciudad de San Cloud no ha sufrido graves daños, las carreteras están abiertas, los equipos están trabajando hoy para limpiar árboles caídos. Están conscientes de que algunos de los residentes sufrieron daños en sus propiedades, incluidos daños en tejados y vallas o árboles caídos. La ciudad está trabajando arduamente para ayudar y hacer la recuperación más fácil. Aseguran que no habrá cargos en las tasas de permisos para la sustitución de techos y vallas relacionadas con los daños del huracán Milton. También están eximiendo las tarifas de recolección de desechos de jardín relacionados con el huracán. La línea de información ciudadana de San Cloud permanece abierta para aquellas personas que tengan preguntas el día de hoy hasta las 8 de la noche y también pueden visitar la página web sancloud.gov. Ahora para Toho Water Authority. Queremos expresar de parte de Toho Water Authority el más sincero agradecimiento a todos los clientes por su paciencia y cooperación durante estos momentos difíciles. Todos los equipos están evaluando activamente y están ahorita trabajando en responder a las zonas afectadas por el huracán Milton. En este momento se han emitido advertencias precautorias o preventivas para hervir el agua. Para los clientes que experimentan cualquier problema relacionado con el agua o alcantarillado, le animamos a informar a través de los siguientes contactos, llamando a la línea al cliente al 407-944-5000. Repito, 407-944-5000. También puede enviar un correo electrónico a customerservice@tohowater.com. Para minimizar el impacto en los sistemas de recogida de aguas residuales, están experimentando tensiones debido a las fuertes lluvias. Están pidiendo a los clientes que se limiten con el uso del agua lo más que puedan. Y si experimenta algún problema de seguridad con el alcantarillado, puede reportarlo inmediatamente llamando al número 407-944-5000. También animan a toda la comunidad a que visiten su página web, tohowater.com. Muchas gracias. Ahora vamos a tomar preguntas. We'll take questions now.
Any questions?
Sure.
Yes.
So prior to the storm, we had heard a lot of concern in the community that there might be shortage of resources given the allocation in other parts of the state and other states with the lean and so on. But we didn't see anything like that whatsoever. So could you confirm you had none of that? It seemed.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'd be glad to speak on that, Keith. Yeah, with our partnership with our regional partners and the state and our federal partners, even though FEMA has responded to numerous disasters in the last couple of months, we had resources already staged throughout the state for a laydown plan through the state EOC. As you see, is now being deployed in Pinellas and southeast Florida for the affected counties, but those resources were here in our area ready to respond if we needed them.
Great. Well done.
And just to go actually a little bit further than that, and I think you've heard a lot from many folks here, and I don't definitely want to say nothing negative about no other state nor the county, but I can tell you and assure you that in this county we were able to work so well together. I want to thank, of course, everyone behind me and Bill and for all the leadership. Once we actually have all this information and people working together, we were able to then distribute that very quickly as well, thanks to folks like yourselves and making sure that everyone knew everything that they needed to do. And then, of course, assuring that we had supplies and things in place, as you heard from the sheriff's office as well, and all of our utilities and stuff. So that was very important. I could translate it in Spanish. Otra vez agradeciendo, obviamente, que hemos trabajado juntos. La pregunta es que cómo es que nosotros hemos podido estar tan preparados, ¿no? Teniendo todo listo. Es porque hemos tenido de verdadmente el condado trabajando bien cerca con las ciudades. Y obviamente teniendo todo listo es muy importante para poder después dar la información a las personas, a ustedes, y después ustedes dan a todo el mundo para que sepan lo que tienen que hacer. Eso es lo más importante cuando estamos trabajando juntos, especialmente con el Sheriff's Office y todos los otros departamentos que ven detrás de mí. Any other questions?
A couple is, look, I don't know if I caught it right. The trash collection Friday. So if your day was Wednesday or Thursday, you can put it out Friday?
To be more specific, Bill.
Okay.
Yeah, just to clarify, yeah. Customers who have regular pickup on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday must have their trash pickup and curbside by 6:30 a.m. And then the customers will have their trash and yard picked up on Friday and Saturday.
Okay, wow, I mean, a long day. Bill, the storm debris hub on Canoe Creek, I didn't catch exactly where that was. Yes.
Sure. I've read through.
Canoe Creek across from.
Canoe Creek across from Bramble Road Drive and Canoga Village.
Gotcha. And pretty much it's gonna be business as usual tomorrow.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
We're still doing some work in the EOC to get back to,
Gotcha.
we're gonna respond back to a level 1 or level 2 today. And then hopefully by over the weekend, we'll return back to monitoring a level 3 status.
Okay, the countywide we're business. I mean, are there any spots of concern? We don't need traffic lights out, anywhere flooding?
There was some traffic
Okay.
signals and they've been repairing those as we
Okay.
go. We've had some trees down and some poles down, but very
Gotcha.
minor.
But by tomorrow morning, even though Tuesday night when we went to bed, this was this would be a big red 5 on the screen.
Correct.
You got to feel pretty good about how this crew responded, how citizens responded. I mean, it's getting to the point where it's a practice makes perfect. Now we're doing this so much.
Correct, and it's a partnership and a team effort. If we do not have the team together, we could not have responded the way that you saw us do for our community, and that's the focus, is responding to our residents and our residents, our community here, to make sure they're safe first.
I'm going to come off of almost what he said. You probably don't hear much feedback. This is kind of a strange comment in a press conference, but you probably don't get thanked very often. I was trying to thank these guys earlier, but we had a ton of people in the community say thank you for all the info. So whatever you were focused on this time was really great, and the people said so. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And again, for any questions, you do know that hotline is still open for today. It's 407-742-0000. Pueden llamar en inglés o en español. So it's both in English and Spanish, 407-742-0000. And that will be up all day today. So you still, if you have any questions, especially trash pickups and all that stuff, we'll have it here. And it's for the both cities and for the county. Okay? Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.